Hello, baseball fans. Welcome to the eighth inning stretch. We're back after a week off. Carson had a trip to Vegas. How do you do at the tables, Carson?
Yeah, I mean, I still came out a loser, but unlike Ipe Mizuhara, I did it legally and didn't lose nearly as much money and cause a major baseball star to be embroiled in the scandal.
Wow. Not wasting any time. Starting right off. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, we are definitely going to talk more about that. And don't feel bad. I mean, most people end up leaving money in Vegas rather than taking it home with them. So, um, I would recite the George Clooney speech from Ocean's 11, but I'm not. I'm drawing a blank. Something about the house always wins, except when that perfect hand comes along. You bet big and you take the house or something like that. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, lots to get to. Yeah, man, it seems like every time we take time off, everything goes nuts.
Yeah, apparently we just need to take time off more often because the baseball world just decides, okay, boom, here's a massive story for you now.
Yeah, two massive stories actually going on right now. The Shohei Ohtani scandal and unrest and drama in the MLBPA, which we'll get to also. But yeah, no, seriously, every time we take time off, everybody, every time without fail, the baseball goes and loses its damn mind. So, yeah, we'll get to all that here in a minute. First, a little housekeeping and announcements. Well, actually, first, before any of that, um, Carson, we need to pass along our condolences to the Angelos family. Longtime Orioles owner, Peter Angelos, just passed away yesterday, I think.
Yeah, the news came last night, so obviously condolences to the Angelos family.
Yeah.
All the good thoughts and happy vibes towards them their way. Peter Angelos, like you said, longtime owner of the Orioles, had a complicated history. I think it's fair to say with the team, but
Yeah.
was overseeing the team for a very long time. And just a reminder too to everybody, because I've seen some comments online that kind of made me throw up in my mouth a little of, as complicated as of a history that he may have had with Baltimore and with the Orioles. Like, this is a human being. There's still a family that's affected by this. So, no matter how you feel about him, send your good thoughts to the Angelos family.
Yeah, and also, I mean, obviously, everyone knows him for owning the Orioles for all those years, but he was a highly successful attorney. He was a philanthropist, did a lot of charity work and a lot of stuff in the Baltimore community, in the Baltimore area. Yeah, and obviously, yeah, complicated is a good word. Yeah, let's be honest. The Orioles weren't always the best. The Orioles went through some, and their fans went through some tough years. But yeah, overall, he did do a lot of good. Bought the Orioles in '93. And the one thing that stands out that I sort of remember, once I heard someone say this, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that. During the 94-95 MLB strike, Carson, when as all the other owners basically were signing off on canceling the rest of the season, and of course the 94 World Series got canceled, Peter Angelos refused to sign it. and rightfully placed blame on the players for that strike, because that strike was that strike was pretty much entirely the players' fault. The players in the MLBPA at the time. And also during the strike, Angelos refused to sign replacement players.
Yep, absolutely. And that was, this was in Cal Ripken era Baltimore. So, this was something that happened a long time ago, and Cal Ripken had posted also a very nice a very nice statement on the artist formerly known as Twitter. That I got a chance to read a little bit earlier today, and like we've been saying, complicated of a history as it may have been, he did do a lot of good in Baltimore. He kept the Orioles in Baltimore at many points where a lot of people thought they could potentially move. So there certainly are other parts of that history, and we don't want to overlook those, but at the same time, he did a lot of good, and there's still a family that's in mourning today.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody try to remember that. I know things can get a little complicated when somebody passes away who was a complicated figure. I remember when Bobby Knight passed away, there were a lot of questionable comments about Bobby Knight and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's important to try to remember that, they are people, and they did have, they do have families and friends who are going to miss them. So, and the only other thing I wanted to mention about Peter Angelos, but Angelos arranged for, and this was way ahead of his time, he was key in arranging that a 2-game exhibition series between the Orioles and the Cuban national team back in 1999, which was, I mean, groundbreaking then and way, way ahead of its time. So Peter Angelos, Carson, was he was way ahead of the curve on the international MLB international thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You could certainly make the case that he did it before it was cool.
Yeah, quite literally. So, but yeah, so yeah, condolences to the to the Angelos family and friends and Orioles fans, because I'm sure Orioles fans are I'm sure Orioles fans are upset by the news too. Of course, now the Orioles have been sold to a new group and started a new era. But if not for Peter Angelos, Orioles fans, you might not have a team now. So, anyways, so that happened last night. So onto a little bit of housekeeping and stuff. Obviously, next Sunday being Easter, we're off. Sorry guys. So you get us. We were off last week. You get us this week. You don't get us next week. So a little on off right now. But after next Sunday, we'll be back and on. A little more regularly. So that in case you guys missed it, some changes to 2-strike count. So to this point, 2-strike count has kind of just been has kind of just focused on, we've kind of used it to focus on one big story at a time. But starting tomorrow, or today, or whenever, depending on whether you're tuned in live or listening to this on replay. Anyways, starting tomorrow, starting Monday, 2-strike count will be more of a little less bloggy, a little more newsletter-y, focusing on more than one, trying to focus on kind of all the big stories going on in MLB at the time. And don't forget to go to 8th Inning Stretch eighthinningpod.com/newsletter and subscribe to get 2-strike count delivered to your inbox every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that's exciting. What else? Yeah. We've all for a little while now, we've been talking about, ways to kind of fill the content gap for you guys ever since we changed our recording schedule and went to the Sunday only episode thing. One way we've been doing that is 2-strike count, which you guys have had a great response to 2-strike count. So thank you for that. The other thing we talked about, Carson, was a baseball documentary podcast series, which I am excited to announce is officially in the works. It's called The Book of Baseball. First episode in the works, and it's basically just going to be, each episode will focus on a different topic story from baseball's history, from current sort of stuff to all the way back to the very beginnings of baseball, and I am so excited about that. That's something I've wanted to do. Man, that's something I've wanted to do for so long, and I'm so excited to share this with everybody.
Yeah, excited to see what that looks like. And guys, AJ is not kidding when this has been something he's been talking about for only as long as I can remember of something that he's wanted to do. So
yes,
can't wait to see that vision and that dream come true.
Yeah, no, I really have. This is something for those of you who don't know, I am a huge documentary nerd. I love documentaries, and I'm obviously a huge fan of Ken Burns' baseball. So I was inspired a little bit by that. I was also inspired a lot by a non-baseball podcast, actually. The great Jackie McMullen, friend of the show, and mentor, has a series on Spotify called the I'm sorry. I'm complete. She has a basketball history series on Spotify. It's called the Icons Club. Yeah, that's it. Where she I don't know, I think it's like 10. Let's see. It's 8 episodes and spanning the entire history of the NBA. From the days of Wilt Chamberlain and Dr. J and the ABA merger through Magic and Larry and the Dream Team, and Jordan, obviously, and Shaq and Kobe, and all the way up to the modern icons of the NBA. So I was big time inspired by that. So yeah, stay tuned for more info on that. We'll have more deets for you guys on that. And last but not least, Carson, the other thing we've been talking a lot about is more ways to make our whole thing, make this whole thing a little more interactive, and we've kind of been looking for a way to sort of re-partner with Printer Dudes to give you guys to give away cool stuff. And in the spirit of that, we're also crazy excited to announce our first ever 8th inning stretch home run derby game. So how this works, think of it kind of like, basically think of it as fantasy baseball for dummies. Not that we're saying you're dummies, but Carson, let's be honest. You're a fantasy baseball player. Fantasy baseball is a commitment.
It is very much a commitment. We just had with baseball in full swing. We had our draft a couple of weeks ago, and in as part of my one last thing, I'm going to share this year's roster with all of you. So there's a little teaser for my one last thing. But fair to say, it's very much a commitment, and you got to be paying attention every day.
Yeah, it's a daily thing. It's a big time commitment, and let's be honest. I mean, I'll myself included, sure, I would love to play fantasy baseball. But sometimes sometimes there's just too much going on, and you forget, especially with, fantasy football is a little more forgiving, but you forget to set your lineup once, especially with the number of games, but fantasy football is once a week. Fantasy baseball is every day for 6 months. It's a lot. So what we're going to try to do with Home Run Derby is it'll be a once a week. So like fantasy football, and you're only going to set a lineup of hitters basically, and it'll be the head-to-head, similar to fantasy football and fantasy baseball, the head-to-head matchups every week, and whoever's team of sluggers hits more home runs wins. And there will be some fantabulous prizes at the end of the season, so stay tuned for more details on that. Whew. All right. Man, I feel like we've done a whole episode already. Oh my God. This is what happens when we take time off. No, obviously, sometimes we got to take time off, for life and friends and family and stuff. But that aside, yeah, every time we take time off, it's like, oh man, we just have so much to talk about with you guys. So anyways, yeah, I think I'm just double checking. I think that's everything. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, so anyways, Book of Baseball, Home Run Derby game. Stay tuned for deets on that stuff on X, Twitter, and of course on our website at eighth-inning-pod.com. So, all right, on to actual baseball stuff. We ran a little poll on X Twitter when this Shohei Ohtani thing broke. And we just basically straight up asked you guys, do you think Shohei Ohtani was involved in placing illegal bets? 52.2% of you said no, 43.5% of you said yes, and a few of you, 4.3%, said maybe. Carson, I don't know about you, but I'm in the maybe camp, I'll be honest, because we don't know. We don't know, but I'm in the maybe camp.
Yeah, I'll try and keep this short and save my thoughts on it when we fully dive into
this. Yeah.
Very, very intrigued. I definitely thought it was going to be a little bit closer in terms of the yes and no's. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer. Very surprised that no has almost a 10% margin over the yeses, but very, very intriguing to see kind of the diversity in our fans' opinions there.
I thought there would be more maybes, because I kind of, I don't want to get too much into this because we're going to fully dive into this later, but I thought there would be more maybes. I thought more people would be, kind of taking kind of a wait and see approach. Good on all of you who voted no for having faith in humanity, I guess. But yeah, very, very interesting results there. So, yeah, we're going to talk more about that later. Don't you worry. In the meantime, believe it or not, Carson, there are only 4 days until opening day.
Oh, that still seems like too long. I am ready.
I know, right?
Let's go.
To be fair, the season has technically already started. The Dodgers and Padres played the 2 games in Seoul, which were a huge success, by the way. I am not ashamed to admit, I did not get up early enough to watch either game.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Neither did I. As much as I would have loved to, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, man, I really, really wanted to, because it's obviously it was the beginning of the season and then playing in Seoul, which is really cool. But yeah, no, I didn't quite make it. I did watch the games on replay. So, how about that weird, bizarre, broken glove in the first game?
Yeah, that was definitely that was interesting to say the least.
I don't. In all my years of watching baseball, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Well, that and like shout out to the people that were like, "Oh, Cronenworth could have made a play there." But what do you want him? What do you want me? What do you want him to do? Pretend like his glove didn't break? Like
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
The ball quite literally went right through his glove. It didn't, like, he didn't miss the ball. The ball went right through the webbing in his glove, which, like I said, in all my years of watching baseball, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. So that was just a really one of those fluke, really bizarre plays. So and you know, it unfortunately cost the Padres that first game, but you know, hey, I guess that's, you know, that's kind of one of those things that makes baseball so awesome and so unique. And then in the second game, the first game was a bit of a, you know, it was like what, I think it was like 5-2. And then the second game was home run derby, and the Padres won like 15-11. It was a football score.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Like what I apparently the San Diego Chargers came back into town to play the LA Rams.
Nice. Yeah. Um, yeah, San Diego Chargers. Yeah, yeah, I guess it would have to be the San Diego Chargers because the Chargers are in LA now. But yeah, yeah. So the Soul Series, I think could be, the Soul Series, Carson, I think could be classified as a huge success. And now Thursday, the season starts. I mean, again, kind of weird. The season has already technically started, but the season starts for real on Thursday. Full slate, all 30 teams playing as has become tradition. 15 games. Some. Well, let's just run through these. Some exciting matchups and some not so. So we've got Brewers, Mets, Angels, Orioles, Braves, Phillies, Tigers, White Sox, Twins, Royals, Yankees, Astros, Pirates, Marlins, Giants, Padres, Cardinals, Dodgers. By the way, I'm going in order of the time these games start. Blues, Blues. Got hockey on the brain. Blue Jays, Rays, Nationals, Reds, Cubs, Rangers, Guardians, A's. A particularly interesting matchup for me because my Red Sox are playing my Mariners in Seattle, and then things wrap up with Rockies and D-backs. Yeah, let's just let's go through these real quick, and we'll do a callback to we'll do a callback and a shout out to one of my favorite all-time sports shows. Dan Lebertard is highly questionable, which, if any of you remember watching that, Dan's dad, they would go through and play a little game called See or No, about whether basically about whether Dan's dad was intrigued about the matchup. So let's go through these, Carson. Brewers, Mets. Intrigued, not intrigued.
I would say intrigued to see, you know, kind of how the Brewers open up the season sans Corbin Burns. Should be very interesting to see. Freddie Peralta draws the opening day start against surprisingly Jose Quintana for the Mets. So I'm intrigued from the Brewers side of things for sure to see what they look like.
Yeah, no, I think Brewers Mets. I think it'll be a good game. Obviously, yeah. I mean, Corbin Burns no longer a Brewer. The Mets dealing with pitching injuries. So, but I think maybe, and I don't know if, obviously we don't know if we'll see him in this game, but I'm intrigued just by the simple prospect that we might see Edwin Diaz, and that his epic entrance from the bullpen.
Yeah. The return of one of the best entrances in baseball, that's for sure.
Yeah. They were playing the trumpet song at during one of the basketball games the other night, and I was getting pumped. So yeah, Brewers, Mets, Angels, Orioles. No, not intrigued. Sorry. Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm intrigued for the Orioles side of things to see what Corbin Burns looks like in his first start as an Oriole.
Yeah.
From the Angels side of things, I'm just intrigued to see how fast Mike Trout's going to get out of there.
Yeah. Come on, Orioles, Angels. That's the best they could do for opening day for the Orioles. I don't know. I feel like there could be they could have scheduled a better opponent. I mean, let's be honest, that game won't even be close. So, Braves, Phillies, I think is a no-brainer for both of us. It's Braves, Phillies, division rivals. The Spencer Strider against Zach Wheeler, the history over the last couple of years in the playoffs. Yeah, this is gonna be a damn good game.
Yeah, absolutely. Very intrigued by that one, for all the reasons that you literally just said.
Yes. CC, I'm very intrigued. Tigers, White Sox. Kind of.
No. This is
a no for you.
Literally we're starting the season with the battle of the predicted basement dwellers of the AL Central. Like, no.
I don't think the Tigers are going to be a basement dweller.
I mean, they might be fourth with the White Sox being fifth.
I think the Tigers are going to surprise a lot of people. Shameless shout out to Two Strike Count. I did a piece on Two Strike Count just a few days ago about in honor of March Madness of MLB teams that I thought could make a Cinderella run, and the Tigers are on that list. I think the Tigers could be a wild card team. Yeah.
I mean, that's certainly fair.
It's bold, I know.
it is bold.
It's bold.
I respect it.
Yeah. So yeah, do yourself a favor, guys. Go check that out on Two Strike Count. 8inningpod.com/blog. Shameless plug. Twins, Royals. Oh boy, am I ever intrigued for this one. Your Twins obviously coming off a highly successful 2023, and then the Royals who quietly had a really good winter. This is going to be a game, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good chance for the Twins to prove themselves.
Yes.
I mean, like we both kind of said that the Royals have quietly had a very good winter. Yes. And I think especially in this series, it is very important that the Twins do not take the Royals lightly.
Yeah.
And Pablo Lopez was fantastic last season, so it'll be intriguing to see how he follows it up this time around.
Would you agree that this season for the Twins is, I mean, obviously, at the risk of stating the obvious, the season is about building on the success they had last year. But would you also agree that the season for the Twins is partially about proving that last season wasn't a fluke?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to go out and prove that this season wasn't a fluke. Last season wasn't a fluke, and I think you have to go out and prove that. I think honestly, this is for now. This might spoil a little bit of one of my answers for the mailbag question, because this might be a hot take, but for me, it's basically division title or bust for the Twins. And if this team does not produce, I want changes in the front office and
Yeah. No, I think the AL Central is the Twins division to lose. I really do. Let's be honest, it's not it's probably the weakest division in baseball. Um, sort of top to bottom. But yeah, no, I think the AL Central is the Twins division to lose. And I would say division title or bust. And I would also say, obviously they won the wild card series last year and then lost the division series. I would say, well, I don't know. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would go as far as ALCS or bust, but it's close.
Yeah, I think you have to win a playoff series again this year. For sure.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think for the season to be considered a success for the Twins, I think they have to win. Well, and it depends. Obviously, if they win the division, they might not have to play in that first series. But if they do have to play in that first series again this year, as the 3 seed, I think you've got to win that series, and I think you've got to win the division series in order to go, yeah, this season was a success.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Not to put any pressure on the Twins or any pressure on Twins fans, but yeah. Yeah, so Twins Royals, that's gonna be a hell of a game. And everybody do yourself a favor. Kind of like what I did with the D-backs last year. Keep an eye on the Royals. The Royals are gonna be, I know my Twins fan co-host doesn't want to hear this, but the Royals are going to be a good team this year. Yeah, let's see. What do we got? Yeah. Yankees, Astros. Yeah, no. Hard pass.
There's so many good players in this. I'm so intrigued. I'm not going to lie. I'm so intrigued.
Snooze fest. I hate both teams. Can they both lose? Is that a thing? No, it's not.
Unfortunately not. No.
No, not in baseball. There's no ties. There's no ties in baseball, unfortunately. So unfortunately, they can't play to a 0-0 tie. Yeah, no, hard pass. I despise both teams, and I really don't care what happens because neither one of them are going to make playoffs this year. Yeah, I said it. I'm sorry, everybody. We've been off for a week, and all this, all this, I don't even know what you'd call it. All my zippiness has been building up for a week, so it's all coming out now. Pirates Marlins. Yeah, I'm actually pretty intrigued by this matchup. The Marlins, two really good young teams here.
I'm lukewarm on it. I'm kind of
Fair enough. I just think there's a lot of really young, talented players on both of these teams that are the teams themselves. Yeah, no, maybe not so much, but the players. Yeah. Yeah, I think that, Jazz Chisholm Jr., ladies and gentlemen, he's worth the price of admission alone.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very true.
Yeah, so Pirates, Marlins, and Miami. Then we come to Giants and Padres, and this was already an intriguing matchup for me, Carson. But we just added a whole other level to this one with the Giants signing former Padres pitcher and NL Cy Young winner Blake Snell.
Yeah, color me intrigued for this one.
Yes. Yeah, CC very intrigued on this one. Logan Webb gets a start for the Giants. Apparently the Padres haven't named their opening day starter yet. I guess that's what happens when you let the reigning NL Cy Young winner walk out the door and hop on a bus, plane, train. I don't know I guess San Diego's like Southern California and San Francisco's up north. Yeah, you could probably take a bus. Let them walk out the door and take a bus up to the Bay and join your division rivals. Oh, and the other added layer I just realized on this one, Giants being managed by former Padres manager Bob Melvin.
I completely forgot about that.
So did I.
Yeah, CC, very intrigued.
Yeah, this and oh, by the way, a division rivalry game. Yeah, this. We'll once we go through all these, we'll talk about our sort of must watch, I guess, or like the most intriguing of all these matchups. But Giants Padres is definitely in the running. Cardinals Dodgers. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm intrigued to see Shohei Ohtani in his Dodgers debut, I guess. But I have to be honest, Carson, what really intrigues me about this is okay, let's see how the Dodgers handle the distraction of all the drama going on with Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, very intrigued. I'm just intrigued to see. Honestly, I'm intrigued to see who the new interpreter is.
Yeah, and also from the Cardinals' perspective, all right, Cardinals, you had a clunker of a season last year. Let's see if you can come out and bounce back in the first game of the new season. Blue Jays and Rays, again, a game I wish both teams could end in a 0-0 tie because they're both division rivals of my Red Sox. Interested. The Blue Jays is another one of those teams that Carson that we've been talking about. This season is put up or shut up time for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a certain seat in Toronto that if you try and sit on it, you're going to catch on fire.
It's a little toasty.
Hi, John Schneider. How are you?
Yeah,
that's your seat, bud. Yeah. There are a lot. There is some pressure on the Toronto Blue Jays right now, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big time. As far as the Rays go, interested to see how the Rays get on without Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah, very interesting to see how their pitching looks, and they're still without Shane McClanahan, so this could be a very different Rays team.
Yeah. I will go on record as saying I don't think the Rays are going to start this season like they did last season and go on some crazy what was like a freaking 20-game winning streak to start last year. Yeah, I don't see that happening this year. Sorry, Rays fans. Nationals Reds, yawn.
Yeah, I mean, how do I say this tastefully?
I don't think there's a way to.
I'm intrigued because the Reds were my pick to be the World Series representative in the National League. I'm gonna go the diplomatic route here and say that I'd rather watch paint dry than watch the Washington Nationals play baseball.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nationals fans. I really am. I feel bad for you guys.
I mean, if the Reds were playing, if this were Cardinals Reds or Cubs Reds or even like I don't know, even I mean, to be honest, any other team other than the Nats. Sorry, Nats fans. Cubs Rangers. Yeah. Yeah, definitely intrigued by this one. The Cubs are going to be really freaking good. The Rangers, the defending World Series champs. Interesting to see how the Rangers are going to weather the storm with their injuries that they're dealing with. Wyatt Langford, who we'll talk more about later, made the opening day roster for the Rangers. And I know neither one of us picked them, Carson, but a possible very early World Series preview, maybe.
Maybe.
Could be.
This is the part of the show where we predict things way too early, but
Yes, way too
yes,
early.
I mean the Rangers alone still have an incredibly talented team. There's
Yep.
very much a reason, AJ, that I have 5 Texas Rangers in my fantasy baseball team.
Wow.
It's a stacked team. Um, and obviously the Cubs getting Cody Bellinger back is
Yep.
a big boost now for them. So they're bringing back a lot of the same team from what was a good season to build off of last year. So
Yep.
a very very good matchup of 2 pretty strong teams.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be one hell of a game. And my boy Nate Eovaldi getting the start for opening day. Good for him. Guardians A's, yeah. No. Yeah, snooze fest.
Sorry, what? The Oakland Athletics are playing baseball? Oh, sorry, what?
Two not so good teams. Yeah. No
I'm sorry, A's fans, but I'm just going to be honest with you. Anytime that your team plays against somebody, I don't care if it's the MLB All-Star team, I will not be intrigued.
Yeah. If we're not doing it yet, but if we were doing your tankathon,
that'd be it right there.
Yeah, this would probably be it. Red Sox Mariners, I mean, yeah, obviously I'm intrigued by this. My two teams going head to head to start the season at beautiful, breathtaking T-Mobile Park in the beautiful city of Seattle. Mariners, obviously, Carson, sky high expectations for the Mariners this year.
Yeah, obviously sky high. I mean, heck, I picked them to win the World Series, but seemingly through osmosis of AJ doing it for the past 2 years.
The past 2 years and being wrong. So,
yeah.
Hey, Mariners fans, maybe third time's the charm.
Maybe so. We will find out.
No, but I mean, the Mariners really, really freaking good. Best pitching staff in baseball. Yeah, I said it. A lineup that I think is much improved over last year. Not the least of which has to do with the addition of Jorge Polanco. And my Red Sox. My Red Sox have had it. My Red Sox had a bit of a rough spring. Lucas Giolito done for the year. Obviously, they didn't make a whole lot of free agency moves. They did go out and get Tyler O'Neill, which I really like that move. And a lot of people have been, including mostly Red Sox fans. Well, I'm putting Red Sox fans in air quotes. Have been down on this team. You know what? Screw all of you. Y'all can go be Yankees fans for all I care. We don't want you. We don't need you. But I'm cautiously optimistic about my Red Sox. I think the Red Sox are going to be. I think they're going to be sneaky good.
Yeah, this is a very intriguing matchup. I mean, the Red Sox are. I think the blow with losing Giolito, not great, not a great way to start the year, but still a very talented team, still a lot of good bats up and down that lineup. So
Rafi Devers, Trevor Story, who's primed for a bounce back. Yeah,
boy, for your sake, I hope so.
Yeah, me too. For his sake, I hope so, or he's going to be on the next train out of Boston. Yeah, no, I'm cautiously up. Last year, before the season, heading into the season, I was like, yeah, no, these guys are going to suck. This year, I'm cautiously optimistic. And they've got a lot of, really good young talent. I mean, Brian Bello is getting the open day start, which I think tells you everything you need to know. All right. And last but not least, Rockies D-backs. Obviously, it's the D-backs. Zach Gallen getting the open day start. I know they're playing against the Rockies, Carson, but I just, after last year, I can't not watch the D-backs.
But yeah, I mean, it's the D-backs, but
It's the
The
Rockies.
the Rockies drained this series so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I get to watch the team with the guy who's starting to regret signing there. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Freeland, though, getting the opening start. Kyle Freeland
Hey,
is a lot
shout out to Kyle Freeland.
Kyle Freeland is a lot of fun to watch. For anyone who hasn't had a chance to watch him pitch, I've seen him pitch a couple times in person here in Colorado. So, yeah, Kyle Freeland is a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, I know the Rockies kind of dragged this thing down, but it's the D-backs. And come on, everybody. After the run the D-backs went on last year, how can you not watch this team? Because, spoiler alert, they're even better than they were last year. Although they're dealing with an injury issue of their own, which we'll talk about later. All right, so we've kind of run through these things. Let's play a little most intriguing and least intriguing. Let's let's flip the script a little bit and let's start with the least intriguing. And I think we probably both agree that it's Guardians and A's.
Yeah, not even close. Like, look, the Guardians still have some.
I mean, Nats Reds is up there.
Nats Reds ain't great, but the Guardians still have Jose Ramirez, who is one of the most underrated stars in baseball. They've
Carson.
still got a solid young core.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry for the technical issues, everybody. Carson is
Hello?
cutting out a bit.
Hello.
Yes, you cut out for a second.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Anywho, well then, back to your regularly scheduled programming of. But yeah, the Guardians still at least have like Jose Ramirez and like a pretty talented core at the very least, but the Athletics are just the Athletics. They're not good. Like,
yeah,
they're what is there to be happy? Like, AJ, this is a Major League Baseball team that has turned off replies to their posts on Twitter.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised.
They turned off replies. Do you know how much you've got to be getting roasted in order to turn off replies to your tweets?
That's pretty bad. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Guardians A's is definitely the least intriguing. Most intriguing. Oh man, there's a couple. I mean, Braves Phillies, but we've seen that movie a bunch of times. Twins Royals, I think, is most intriguing. I think I've got to go Giants Padres because of all the stuff we talked about. Blake Snell facing his former team, Bob Melvin facing his former team, the division rivalry. Yeah, I think I've got to go Giants Padres.
Yeah, I think I would agree for many of the same reasons, but considering I completely forgot about the Bob Melvin revenge arc angle,
yeah,
I cannot wait for that because like for me the Bob Melvin in San Diego, it's going to be one of those things where we will never fully know why he exited, but I don't know, AJ, something's telling me that he's going to come out and try to absolutely destroy the Padres and pull like a Thanos and just be like, I am inevitable, and just destroy them.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Yeah, we really don't know what went down in San Diego, but yeah. And I mean, sure, yeah, the Bob Melvin revenge angle, but also the Blake Snell revenge angle too.
Yeah, that too. Very, very, very true.
I mean, the Padres, they let him walk, and unless I missed it, I don't think the Padres even made him an offer this winter.
I don't think so.
I don't think I saw anything about the Padres being in the mix for re-signing him, which is utterly ridiculous to me. Like, how do you let the reigning NL Cy Young winner just walk? Not just walk, but go and sign with the division rival. Okay, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for them. So that is opening day. Again, that's Thursday. All 30 teams in action, 15 games. And a friendly reminder to all you T-Mobile or Metro by T-Mobile subscribers out there, like myself. No, this isn't an ad for T-Mobile, but if you haven't already, make sure you download the what do they call it now? It used to be the T-Mobile Tuesdays app. It's now called the T-Life app. It's T-Mobile's rewards app. And starting Tuesday, so every Tuesday they put out new rewards. And this Tuesday is the Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Tuesday where you can sign up for MLB.TV free for the entire 2024 season. Free. FREE free. And watch all your auto market games to your little heart's content. So don't forget to do that this Tuesday. Because obviously MLB TV is, it's a little pricey to buy for the whole season. It's like $150. So yeah, you can get it for nothing. So which is pretty freaking awesome. And shout out to T-Mobile and MLB for, I think this is the third year in a row that they've done that. So, that's a biggie. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. So, anyone who listens to the show with any regularity knows that we like to, we're both big fans of The Athletic, especially their baseball content. So The Athletic, Carson just put out this list. Ranking all 30 opening day lineups. I guess we could let's just run through these real quick. We'll start at 30, and then we'll go back. 30 is the Oakland A's. No surprise there. 29 is the Rockies. 28th, the Nationals. 27th, the Marlins. 26th, the White Sox. 25, Guardians. 24, Royals. Not sure I agree with that. 23 is the Angels, 22 the Pirates, 21 the Tigers, 20 my Red Sox, 19 the Giants, 18 the Blue Jays, 17 the Cardinals, 16 the Mariners, 15 Brewers, 14 Mets, 13 Cubs, 12 your Minnesota Twins, 11 the Padres, 10 the Reds, 9 are the Rays, 8 the D-backs, 7th is the Yankees, 6th is the Orioles, Phillies at number 5, Astros at number 4, number 3 the Rangers, number 2 the Dodgers, and number 1 the Braves. I don't think there's any surprises that the Braves and the Dodgers are 1-2.
Yeah, no surprises there. But I'm going to be honest. AJ, I don't know about you. I have a lot of problems with this list.
I do too.
I have quite a few problems. Starting with
I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about them.
I got 99 problems in this list as one.
Nice.
So I don't really know how I want to address said problem. So I guess I'll just kind of go through them, starting from the bottom up. Can we just talk about the Kansas City Royals being at number 24?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
Not just that. My biggest issue is, how are the Los Angeles Angels above them without Shohei Ohtani? How?
Yeah.
You got Mike Trout. You got a guy who's complaining about the length of the regular season, who hasn't even played a full regular season with the Angels, and what else?
Yeah.
Cool. Logan O'Hop. Great. Cool. One of the top catching prospects. That's great. But what?
Zach Neto.
Yeah, great. Zach Neto. Woohoo.
Yeah.
No.
Meanwhile,
also,
on the Royals, you've got Bobby Witt Jr., Hunter Renfroe, Salvador Perez, and our favorite, Mr. Vinny Pasquantino.
The Paisan himself. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, the Marlins at 27. What?
Yeah, did they forget about a dude named Arise?
Yeah, or a Reyes, or what,
Reyes.
however. But yeah, just a 2-time, just a guy who's won the batting title in both leagues, and
Yeah.
Jazz Chisholm, and two power hitters, and Josh Bell and Jake Berger. Nothing too crazy there. Also, how are they below the Chicago White Sox? How?
Yeah.
Yes, the White Sox have some talented pieces, but skimming through a lot of this, a lot of it is like, oh, this team needs these guys to be healthy. This team needs guys to be healthy. Eloy Jimenez is extremely injury prone. And I'm saying that as a guy who, as a division rival, he's probably one of the players that I most respect. But he is injury prone.
This even
like a madman.
They even say in their who's the knucklehead who wrote this anyways? Oh, Jim Bowden. Yeah, I might have guessed. Shocker. Yeah, he writes in his little blurb here about the White Sox. Where are they? Marlins, White Sox. He writes in his little, he even says it. They're hoping that DH Eloy Jimenez can stay healthy and play a full season. Yeah, hoping.
Yeah. Now, I feel like we might disagree on this one, but for me, I'm looking at the Baltimore Orioles at number 6. And I think that right now that's too high.
Wow. That is I mean,
let me put it to you this way too. Your Diamondbacks are 2 spots below them.
Yeah, no, the Diamondbacks are top 5. Actually, yeah, I would. So the Orioles are 6th, the Yankees are 7th. I think the Yankees are too high too.
That I think the Yankees are in a pretty good spot. I mean,
you've got Juan Soto and Aaron Judge and everyone else.
Well, don't forget about I feel bad saying this because I know it's going to feel like a knife in the back, but
Verdugo?
they also did get Alex Verdugo.
I mean, Verdugo's
he's a solid bat.
He's a solid bat. But I mean, if you're the Yankees and you're counting on Soto and Judge and Verdugo, I mean, okay, you've still got Anthony Rizzo, you've still got Giancarlo Stanton, you've got DJ LeMahieu, but how much do those guys even have left?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think the Yankees are too high. But just to get back to the Orioles for a minute, yeah, I mean, you've got Adley Rutschman, you've got Gunnar Henderson, you've got Anthony Santander, you've got Cedric Mullins, you've got Ryan Mountcastle, and not to spoil something we're going to talk about later, but I feel like this Orioles lineup would be better with a certain youngster named Jackson Holliday in the mix.
Yeah, and I mean, no doubt in my mind he gets called up very quickly. Sorry, I kind of unintentionally.
Oh, sure, there, yeah, but
no,
yeah, it's fine.
I don't know. They're so young.
Yeah, they are. I think the Orioles belong in the top 10, but yeah, I think 6. Yeah, they definitely shouldn't be above the Diamondbacks. I mean, for one, the D-backs are the defending NL champs. They have a lineup that is stacked with contact hitters and speed. They finished 2nd in MLB last year, not the National League, all of baseball, with 166 stolen bases, and they struck out the 4th fewest times in all of baseball. I mean, yeah, they didn't have a whole lot of power in that lineup last year, but they went out and got Eugenio Suarez, who's got some pop, and they went out and got veteran Jock Peterson, who's also known for his power.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
the D-backs are a top 5 lineup.
Yeah, I mean, if you flip, I would flip I agree with you. I still think the Orioles are definitely top 10. I just don't. I know that I know that they had an amazing season last year, and I'm not trying to take that away from this lineup because it's practically the same lineup.
But you're right about them being young.
Right. That's just where my concern comes in. And yes, you've got these veteran guys, like you've got your Anthony Santander, you've got Cedric Mullins, you've got Ryan Mountcastle, you've got the veteran guys, but I don't know, with the majority of their lineup being so young, I think it's too early to rank them this high.
Yep. And if the Orioles want to go the places they want to go, the youngsters need to produce too.
Right.
So you can't just rely on Santander and Mullins and Mountcastle. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this. I mean, I know the Braves are the Braves, and I know the Dodgers are the Dodgers. But I almost feel like, I don't know, man. I almost feel like the Braves and that he put the Braves and the Dodgers 1-2 by default. I know they're both ridiculous lineups, but I don't know. I have concerns about the chemistry in the Dodgers lineup. I mean, this Braves group, they've been playing together for a few years now.
Yeah, that's true.
Your Matt Olson, your Ozuna, your Albies, Ronald Acuna Jr., obviously. They added Jared Kelenic, who, yeah, I mean, we'll see about that one. I mean, I hope Jared Kelenic can get his game together in Atlanta like he couldn't in Seattle. And they added Adam Duvall. This Braves lineup has been together for a while. This Dodgers lineup, you just threw Shohei Ohtani and Teoscar Hernandez into that lineup. And I almost feel like, and this is going to sound really crazy, I almost feel like the Dodgers have too much talent in that lineup. It's like an all-star team.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying the Dodgers won't have a good lineup. On paper, yes. Braves won. I don't think either one of us can dispute the Braves being ranked on top of this list.
No.
Although again, Braves have had their fair share of issues. They haven't been able to get it done in the playoffs the last couple of years. So, that's a question mark. I think I would put Rangers over Dodgers, though.
I think it's very close, but I still say Dodgers at 2.
I mean, I just think that the Rangers, they're basically bringing back their entire lineup last year that, oh, by the way, they won the World Series with. And then they added, they're adding Wyatt Langford, who we'll talk more about later. Evan Carter is going to be there. You've still got Corey Seager. I mean, the Rangers were third last year in the majors in runs scored. And I think they're going to score even more runs this year, which they're going to have to with the injuries to their pitching.
Yeah, very true.
Astros 4, I think that's too high for the Astros.
I mean, it's definitely an interesting spot. They've got basically the same lineup,
but the Astros are old.
The Astros are old, and in the same vein, I can't talk about the youth of the Orioles without acknowledging that the Astros are getting to the point where some of these guys might start needing to use the bats as canes for.
Yeah, some of these Astros guys are going to qualify for AARP here pretty soon. The Astros are old. Phillies 5, I don't really have a problem with that. The Phillies are, Harper, Schwarber, Turner, Realmuto, and then players about to enter their primes in Bryson Stott and Alec Boehm and Brandon Marsh. Orioles we already talked about. Yankees we talked about. D-backs we talked about. Tampa Bay Rays, yeah. The Rays were 4th last year in the majors in on-base percentage, slugging, and runs scored. I mean, they're basically bringing back the same lineup. Obviously, nowhere Wander Franco. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect out of the Rays lineup this year.
Yeah, I genuinely have no idea. They're such a wild card for me.
Yeah.
But again, that's also me looking at it from a whole team perspective, where
Right.
I feel like that's part of the reason why I have so many problems with this list, is that I'm guilty of not looking at it from strictly the batting lineup perspective.
Mm. No,
Because
I don't think you can. I don't think you can look at it. I don't think you can look at it strictly that way, though. I think
right,
you
but
have to
that's
take the team into account.
yeah, but that's kind of the hard thing here, is that with this particular list, it's
Ugh.
purely focusing on the batters.
This is why I hate lists like this. This is why I put like these kind of lists and power rankings and stuff like that. That's why I take them with, an entire shaker of salt. But it's fun to talk about. It's fun to pick these things apart. Let's see, Reds 10, Padres 11, Twins 12. I think your Twins, I would put your Twins above the Padres simply for the fact that the Padres are missing a very big piece in the shape of Juan Soto.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly okay with the Twins being either at 11 or 12.
I mean, your Twins have got Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, to try and not let my Twins bias show, talked a lot of, we talked a lot about, especially with the White Sox, and Eloy Jimenez needs to stay healthy. Those are three dudes that we need to stay healthy in order, because without any of them, or without even one of them, this lineup doesn't look nearly as dangerous. If for whatever reason, knock on wood, as I proceed to knock on my nightstand over here, because I literally can't risk this happening. If we lose all three of them for any period of time, to quote Michael Scott, it is over. We are screwed.
Yeah, if you lose one of them for any significant amount of time, I think you're in trouble. Cubs 13. Yeah, I mean, Cody Bellinger is a big add. Not sure how much power the Cubs are going to get, but the Mets 14. Then we just kind of get into like the middle of the pack here. Mets 14, Brewers 15. Mariners 16.
Yeah, I got some issues there.
No, I already did my Frank Costanza. I won't do it again. I mean, I think, not that I would want to get into the mind of Jim Bowden, but I think what he's thinking here with the Mariners is he's looking at the players the Mariners lost this offseason. You lost Teoscar Hernandez. That's a biggie. I mean, you lost Jared Kelenic. No great loss there, I don't think. You lost Eugenio Suarez. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, he even says it. Lost some power when they traded Eugenio Suarez to the D-backs and let Teoscar Hernandez leave a free agent. I got to be honest, Carson. I was not impressed at all by Teoscar Hernandez's tenure in a Mariners uniform. I didn't think he was as advertised at all.
Yeah, and I think the contract he got with the Dodgers definitely showed that a little bit, but
yeah,
but like you said in reference to this, I get where Bowden's coming from. Those are some pretty big power pieces that, regardless of the fact that Hernandez was not the same Toronto Teoscar Hernandez, those are still pretty big pieces to lose.
But the Mariners had power, but they were lacking consistency. This year is the other way around.
Right. And I was going to say, but I think you did a nice job. Ty France is still a guy you can get a good amount of power from. They traded for kind of an ultimate utility guy from the Diamondbacks and Josh Rojas.
Yep. Jorge
Jorge Polanco comes in this year. You know, Mitch Haniger comes to them now in the trade for Robbie Ray. So, you know, they've done a good job in, you know, seeing some of those power guys walk out the door and bringing in some guys who, you know, Mitch Haniger, I think more so than like Jorge Polanco or a Josh Rojas, is known for his power. But, you know, as somebody who has spent an extensive amount of time watching Jorge Polanco, you can get at least a good amount of home runs, at least in the teens, if not more than that, from Jorge Polanco in terms of home runs.
Yeah. I'm not expecting a ton of homers out of Polanco, but I think Polanco slots into that lineup really well. And oh, by the way, you still got a dude named Julio Rodriguez, who I think is okay, sort of okay at baseball.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
He's rookie of the year. Damn near won the MVP last year. Should win it this year. Now that Shohei Ohtani has gone to the National League. I think Julio Rodriguez, I would just go ahead and pencil him in for 40 homers and probably 60 or 70 stolen bases this year, without breaking a sweat. Maybe even 50-50. I don't know. But, yes, the Mariners lost power, but what they lost in power, they picked up in consistency. Because, boy, they struck out a lot last year with runners on base. And I don't see that. I don't see them repeating that trend this year. The less you strike out, and the better you do with, stating the obvious, the better you do with runners on base, the more runs you score, typically speaking. So, and that's been their Achilles heel the last couple of years, is not able to score runs and not able to come through with the big hit when they need it. And I think they addressed that. But yeah, I think 16 is way too low for the Mariners. Cardinals 17, yeah. Blue Jays 18, Giants 9, yeah. And then we're just Red Sox 20. I'm trying to have a problem with Red Sox at 20, but I actually think that's pretty fair because nobody, including the Red Sox, has any idea what we're going to get out of this lineup this year.
Yeah. I think they're almost too much of a wild card to try and figure out at this point.
You got Rafi Devers, Tristan Casas should have a big year. Masataka Yoshida, I think, is going to have another big year. And then after that, there's that word again, hoping that Trevor Story stays healthy and hoping he can play like Trevor Story of old. Tyler O'Neill, I mentioned earlier, I really like that. Tyler O'Neill brings some power to that lineup. And then Jarren Duran, again, a lot of young sort of wait and see, I think, with the Red Sox lineup. But and then we get into the bottom tier, the Tigers 21, the Pirates, the Angels, Royals we talked about, Guardians, White Sox. We talked about the Marlins being way, way too low. An interesting list to say the least. I hate lists like this, but they're fun to talk about and sort of pick apart. But lots to keep an eye on with these opening day lineups. And keep in mind that if you're looking at your favorite team's opening lineup and you're going, remember, there's call-ups, there's, lineups change over the course of the season. They have to. So, anyways, by the way, I don't think I did this at the top of the show, but welcome to everybody who's live streaming us on Twitter and X, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, and of course, welcome to everybody who's listening to this on replay or live, as we are just about every Sunday on YouTube, Twitter, X, and Twitch, and then course, the episodes are available on demand Mondays wherever you get your podcasts. Go to Linktree/8inning stretch to find us on all your favorite platforms. Don't forget to give us a follow at 8th Inning Pod on X Twitter. And for more, including our newsletter, blog, 2 Strike Count, and to sign up and to subscribe to 2 Strike Count, head on over to 8thinningpod.com. And if you're so inclined, you can support the show using the QR code on the screen if you're watching, or if you're listening at 8thinningpod.com/donate. I was so excited to get back behind the mic at the beginning of the show. I forgot to do my little spiel. All right, so we talked about this. We sort of teased this at the beginning of the show, Carson. This just drama going on with the MLB Players Association. So it started when the players basically got together and went to MLBPA Executive Director Tony Clark and said, and told him that they want to get rid of his deputy director, Bruce Meyer, because they were unhappy with the way Meyer handled the last couple of CBA negotiations, which is fair because the players kind of got hosed in the last 2 CBAs, and they're understandably upset. So the players went to Tony Clark and told him that they wanted to replace Meyer with former MLBPA lawyer Harry Marino, who is a much better negotiator. So this has been going on for a while, and now the latest, now that you're all caught up, everybody, the latest, Meyer wrote a letter to the MLBPA, emailed a lengthy letter to players outlining his accomplishments and challenging the quote unquote revisionist history going around in a coordinated multi-pronged campaign he believes critics are using to try to get him fired. Yeah. This is a hot mess.
Yeah. Holy cow, this is not a good look at all for really anybody involved.
Especially Tony Clark.
Yeah, absolutely. And something tells me that this story is far from over. And you guys know we'll be giving you developments as they happen. That's for sure on this one. Because
yes,
wow, I don't even know how to begin wrapping my brain around this one.
Yeah, so basically the players are trying to convince Tony Clark to get rid of Meyer, because and rightfully so, Carson. The players are frustrated with the direction the MLBPA is moving in. The last 2 CBA negotiations have not really gone well for the players.
No, it hasn't gone well at all. And you know, they've like you said, they've been getting hosed for a good majority of these negotiations.
And also a little background on Marino. Unlike Meyer, Marino pretty much has basically has the trust of the majority of the players. Marino, Carson, was the one who led the charge and succeeded in getting the unionizing effort for the minor leaguers, which was huge.
Yeah, absolutely huge. And I mean, this is like, it's not very often on this show that I am speechless, but this it feels like something out of a soap opera, like previously on Major League Baseball. Like, it feels like I'm living through an episode of Days of Our Lives or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sort of just scrolling through this piece on the Meyer letter. Prior to this winter, however, and I mean, I think Scott Boras unwittingly played a part in this whole thing, Carson. I mean, we talked about it ad nauseum. You know, his shall we say, questionable tactics for negotiating contracts for his free agents. Club spending is down, which obviously means player salaries are down. There's the lingering issue of the revenue sharing for the players, and obviously the salary floor and the salary cap and all that stuff. Basically, in a nutshell, the players like Marino. They don't like Meyer. They're trying to get Tony Clark to get rid of him. And I gotta be honest. And again, this is obviously a still ongoing and developing story, but this doesn't look good for Tony Clark, because if Tony Clark doesn't, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Tony Clark should just automatically cave to the players, but if Tony Clark doesn't seriously, if Tony Clark doesn't get his act together and listen to the players, we could be looking at a situation, Carson, where the MLBPA not only gets rid of Meyer, but they also get rid of Tony Clark.
Yeah, agreed. And that's a scary thought.
It is, but I mean, I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world. And I think, I mean, if in a perfect world, I would, get rid of Meyer, get rid of Clark, and put Marino in charge of the MLBPA, who clearly in this whole mess seems to be the only one with the players' best interests in mind.
Yeah, agreed.
So, so anyways, you guys could go to The Athletic. You can actually, they have the full letter that Meyer wrote, which I'm not going to read, but you guys can read the whole thing. He basically, man, what a windbag. He's basically going on and touting all his quote unquote accomplishments, which, oh boy. Well, let me put it this way, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to go and read this letter by Bruce Meyer, make sure you bring a shovel. So that's obviously something we're going to be keeping tabs on here on the show, as well as on Two Strike Count. So seriously, just go to eighthinningpod.com and subscribe to Two Strike Count to make sure you don't miss any of it. All right. It's time to talk about the elephant in the room. We've been circling it. We've been dancing around it. We've been hinting at it. Shohei Ohtani. This is not what you wanted. I mean, the whole thing with the players union was bad enough, and this is really what you don't want 4 days before opening day. So just a little background, in case you've been, I don't know, in case you've been living in a cave. So the other day, news broke that Shohei Ohtani's longtime interpreter, hang on, I thought I had the article here. Sorry, everybody. I thought I had the article bookmarked. So the other day, news broke that Shohei Ohtani's longtime interpreter and longtime friend, Ippei Mizuhara, I think I got that right, was fired by the Dodgers after being accused of quote-unquote massive theft from Shohei Ohtani in an amount totaling roughly $4.5 million. Since then, the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani have been very quiet about all this. And then, Carson, the latest is MLB announced, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, that MLB has begun an official investigation into all this. Man, I don't even know where to start with this. And you probably reacted the same way when this first broke. It just kind of looked at your screen and went, what?
Yeah. I had to reread. I think I've reread the article at this point at least 10 times.
A lot, yeah.
Because I'm genuinely am just in shock. Talk about something that sounds like something off of a TV show or a story that I literally don't know where to start.
This
sounds
like
something. This sounds like something off of like this sounds like a Goodfellas.
This is a Netflix story
or something. Yeah, like
this is a Netflix original.
like it's absolutely wild. There are so many different components to this story that are insane.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, just the act itself is nuts. Secondly, like now getting back to the poll question, personally, I am with the 52% that say no. I don't think Shohei has anything to do with it, but the fact that he potentially could have something to do with it and has said nothing up to this point is another aspect of it. And third and foremost, I trust that this tweet is real, but I had found something, and I don't know if you maybe had saw it too, AJ, that there's a clause in his contract that he can opt out if the Dodgers fired his interpreter.
What? No, I didn't see that. I thought you were going to talk about the thing about Mizuhara lying about his background.
That too. I forgot about that. Yeah. He had said he had graduated from what, like UC Berkeley or something like that?
UC Riverside, I think it was.
UC Riverside, thank you. And the school's like, yeah, we have no record.
No record of that.
It's like,
no, this Mizuhara dude seems like a shady ass character. Yeah, this dude is straight out of like a Netflix original series about the Yakuza or some shit. Sorry for the swear, everybody. Whatever, you guys don't care. Yeah, so the Dodgers fired Mizuhara after not Ohtani himself, Ohtani's representatives accused him of engaging in massive theft, using the players' money to place bets with a allegedly illegal bookmaker, Matthew Boyer, who, oh, by the way, is under federal investigation. Yeah, man, Hollywood couldn't come up with a better script than this. The accusation by the firm representing Ohtani followed an inquiry from the LA Times. The newspaper learned Ohtani's name surfaced in an... Okay, see, I guess I missed this. The newspaper learned, the LA Times, ladies and gentlemen, reputable publication, learned Ohtani's name surfaced in the federal investigation of Boyer. Holy crap.
Yeah, like this.
I am speechless. I am without speech, ladies and gentlemen. And that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, like this is just not good.
This is here. No, this is a bad look. And the Dodgers and Ohtani's representatives are making it worse by not making him available to the press. And not even the only thing the Dodgers have released a statement on is the firing of Mizuhara. They haven't said squat about any of this, which that looks even worse.
This is just, it's insane. I have done a little bit of research. It appears that I was potentially duped, or Rosenthal was duped. There is an opt-out clause in Ohtani's contract, but only if it's Andrew Friedman or Mark Walter, who aren't with the Dodgers, who are two of the more higher ups in the president of baseball operations and the chairman of the board.
Okay, interesting.
But still, anyway, regardless of that, nobody cares about that right now because this is wild. But again, I'm going to try and save judgment until the results of the MLB investigation come out. And AJ, I don't know about you, there's not a whole lot of investigations that when it gets released to the public, I read the whole thing. No, I'm going to read the whole thing about this.
We may, ladies and gentlemen, we may even read, well, maybe not the whole thing, but we will probably read excerpts from this thing whenever it comes out. Yeah, the fact that MLB has launched a formal investigation into this that's not a good sign. Obviously, and I know some of you of a certain age may be having flashbacks to Pete Rose. We obviously this story is ongoing and developing. We don't obviously don't have all the information yet. But I don't think it's way off base to, I mean, big if here, Carson, if it comes to light that Shohei Ohtani was in fact involved with this bookmaker, because it sounds to me like Ohtani was, because obviously, I mean, unlike Pete Rose, who was making bets directly with a bookmaker, it sounds to me like potentially what happened here was Shohei Ohtani was wiring the money to Mizuhara, and Mizuhara was going to Boyer. If it in fact comes to light that is what happened, this would be bigger than Pete Rose.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're glossing over the fact that as part of his credentials, it says that he attended UC Riverside, and they came out and said, we don't even have records of a student by that name, let alone somebody who graduated from the university.
Yeah. And I'm not really sure what they're, I mean, I hope these media outlets aren't trying to deflect from Ohtani by releasing all this stuff about Mizuhara's background. I mean, obviously his background is important, but and I've seen stuff, obviously this set social media ablaze, understandably. I've seen stuff though people are rooting for Ohtani's downfall, because he plays for the Dodgers. Well, one, no, that's ridiculous. I mean, maybe some people are, but any of us with more than 2 brain cells to rub together aren't doing that. Speaking purely as a baseball fan, Carson, and I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm gonna guess we're on the same page here. We're hoping that Ohtani had nothing to do with this and that he's cleared and everything goes back to normal.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Let's hope.
Because like you said, if he's involved in any way in this is huge, and I don't even want to know what the implications of that could be.
I mean, that being said, we're hoping that Shohei Ohtani had nothing to do with this, that he really was wiring this money to Mizuhara to help him out with his own with Mizuhara's gambling debts. But on the flip side of that, when this investigation is over, and something tells me MLB and Rob Manfred has probably lit a fire under MLB's investigations department to, do a thorough job, but don't drag your feet too much on this. If it does in fact come out that Ohtani was somehow involved in placing these illegal bets, I don't care. I want him. I would want him punished to the full extent of the rules.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree with you 100%.
As much as that would suck, for baseball, for Dodgers fans, as much as that would suck. And the other thing I saw about this, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I saw somebody had tweeted something about, if it comes out that Ohtani was involved, baseball will never recover from this, yada yada, whatever. I mean, I get the sentiment, but Carson, baseball has a very long history, and baseball has survived multiple scandals. And obviously, as much as this would suck, and as much as damage as it would do, if it does turn out that Ohtani did do something illegal, baseball will be okay. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, baseball survived the Black Sox. It survived Pete Rose. It survived the steroid era. Baseball will be fine. Because I don't think. Well, I don't know. I mean, this could. I mean, I said it would be worse than Pete Rose. I don't know, man. I want all the information now, but we've really. I mean, we talk about playing the wait and see game, but that's exactly what we have to do in this situation.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right.
So, obviously, I mean, you guys know us. You know we've got you covered with all the latest on this as it unfolds. But it's truly bizarre. It's genuinely shocking. I mean, I don't know about you, man, but one of my first reactions was shock that Shohei Ohtani was the name linked to this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, now it's very possible, I think, that if this was a less big name, I feel like this story wouldn't get as much attention.
It would already be out of the news cycle.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about, a superstar and arguably the face of baseball. Yeah, this is buckle up, everybody, buckle up. Because this thing is just getting started, and I have the oddest of feelings that it's going to get very bumpy very fast. And again, we kind of hinted at it earlier, Carson, when we were talking about the Dodgers. I don't even know how you handle this. Well, the Dodgers are handling it as keeping their mouth shut and not and basically hurrying Ohtani out of the locker room after games. But I mean, this has to have an impact on the rest of the team, right? I mean, it has to.
It has to. There's no doubt about it.
This isn't some I don't know. This isn't. I mean, this isn't some minor. I mean, like last year with Wander Franco and the Rays, that kind of stuff is a distraction, obviously. But this is, whew, yeah. So I'm talking about being intrigued, Carson. I am very intrigued to see how the Dodgers. I mean, we know how the team's handling it. The team's handling it by not handling it. But I'm very intrigued to see how Ohtani's teammates handle this.
Yeah.
And how it affects, how it affects their performance on the field. And I know I rag on the Dodgers and I rag on the Dodgers fans, but man, I really feel bad for Dodgers fans right now.
Yeah, I really do too.
It really sucks for them. They have this amazing offseason where they go out and get, you got Shohei Ohtani, you got Yoshinobu Yamamoto. You thought, as a Dodgers fan, you're looking at your team going, this is it. This is the year we're finally going to get over the hump. And then this happens. So, anyways, like I said, we'll obviously keep you guys up to date on all the latest from this, both on here on the show and on Two Strike Count. So, anyways, all right. Now that that's out of the way, let's lighten things up a little bit and let's play a little buy or sell. So the season got underway last week with the Seoul series between the Dodgers and the Padres. They played a couple of games against each other. They played some exhibition games against the Korean national team and against a team from KBO, the Korean League. And it was a huge success. So Carson, buy or sell that MLB should open the season abroad every year?
I'd buy it. Yeah. I mean, why not? The NFL has done a lot of London games and stuff now, and there are reports now that MLB has already told the Cubs and the Dodgers that they'll be doing the series in Tokyo
Dodgers again,
because of course. But yeah, I think they definitely need to change the teams up a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I definitely buy this. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll buy it too. I mean, we're in an era where sports, sports is on a global, global international level. Yeah, I mean, all the major leagues have all played games overseas. Um, yeah, I would buy this with like you said, I would buy this with the condition that let's see some. I mean, I get it, Dodgers, Japan, Otani Yamamoto, I get that. But yeah, let's see some different teams. Let's see some different locations. I mean, Korea this year, Japan next year. I mean, obviously MLB has played games in, they've got the games in London. They're playing in, they're going to be playing games in Paris next year. I'd like to see them move it around and maybe even just, I mean, I know baseball Asia, but why not an opening series in a in the Dominican Republic or Mexico City or maybe a place like that.
Yeah, would certainly be cool.
I mean, there are obviously places where you can't because of I mean, it would be really cool to see MLB play in some of those in South America or even Cuba or something. But I mean, obviously there's uh political stuff and security concerns and whatever there. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. Let's have a 2-3 game series to start the season, every year. Sure. So we kind of sort of spoiled this earlier, but Orioles prospect Jackson Holliday was assigned to the minors. He did not make the opening day roster. So buy or sell, Carson, the Orioles assigning Holliday to the minors and not the major league roster to start the season.
I mean, I buy it. I think it's, let him develop in the minors for a little bit and then eventually call him up. We've seen teams do this a lot before with top prospects, so
Sure.
I
Yeah.
see no problem with it.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I initially read this and went, "Really?" But after thinking about it a little further, I thought, I mean, obviously the Orioles looked at Jackson Holliday, who had he had an awesome spring, but they obviously looked at Jackson Holliday and decided, okay, he needs a little more time, to marinate. Um, he needs a little more time to be major league ready. And the Orioles are in the very good position, Carson, of they don't need to rush Jackson Holliday to the majors, because they've got plenty of talent up there already.
Exactly.
So, but I mean, I think it was you that said it earlier. I mean, I don't think it'll be long at all before Jackson Holliday gets called up.
No, not very long at all.
I mean, I don't even think. Yeah, no, I don't think it'll be long at all. So, anyways, another thing we talked about earlier, boy, we're just kind of like circling back. We're coming full circle here. We talked about the Giants and Blake Snell. Obviously a huge signing for the Giants to go out and get the reigning NL Cy Young winner. But Carson, buy or sell that the Giants will challenge for the division for the NL West with Blake Snell.
I can't deny it anymore. I say buy. I think they certainly have a chance to challenge for the division and maybe even win it. Who knows? But right now, challenge absolutely.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Well, I mean, in light of the three-ring circus going on with the Dodgers and not knowing how that's going to affect them on the field or off the field, um, yeah, you know what? Challenge, yeah, I'll buy challenge. I don't think I'd go as far as win, although I wouldn't be surprised. Um, but sort of everything else aside, I mean, if you want to be in that conversation, you've still got to leapfrog the Dodgers and the D-backs. But challenge, yeah, I'll buy challenge. Um, just a great, awesome move by the Giants going out and get Blake Snell. great move. I love it. And last but not least, we also talked about Wyatt Langford, who did make the Rangers opening day roster. So buy or sell Wyatt Langford making the Rangers big league roster.
Yeah, I absolutely buy this also. I think that's a smart, some teams like to put their prospects back down in the minors. Some teams like to keep them up. It all depends on the team. It all depends on the structure. But I think the nice thing is, Wyatt Langford's coming into a situation where, he's got him, Evan Carter, who is my pick to be the American League Rookie of the Year. But I think he's walking into a good situation with a lot of veteran guys who will be able to help him out. Certainly doesn't hurt that his team just won the World Series. So absolutely, I'll buy this.
Yeah, as much as bearish as I was, or as bullish as I was on the Orioles assigning Jackson Holliday to the minors, I'm equally bearish on Wyatt Langford making the Rangers big league roster. I don't know. I think I have to sell this. I think I think the Rangers are in a similar position to the Orioles. They've got plenty of talent in that lineup. They've got a good mix of young and veteran players in that lineup. They obviously think Wyatt Langford's ready for the big leagues. I think maybe rushing it, maybe just a little. I don't know. I don't see the harm in having him play in the similar to what the Orioles did with Holiday. The Orioles don't, the Orioles obviously don't see that there's no harm. They figure, okay, there's no harm in Jackson Holiday playing in the minors for a while. Same thing with the Rangers. I don't think there's any harm in letting Wyatt Langford, cut his teeth a little bit in the minors. And the difference between, Holiday stepping into that Orioles lineup is, sure, there's expectations and pressure for the Orioles, but we're talking about the defending World Series champs. And I think that's going to be a lot for a rookie to handle.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're the defending champs. There's a lot of pressure. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure. Are they going to repeat? That's the question on everybody's mind. And as the defending champs, it's a sports cliche, but it rings true. Carson, when you're the defending champs in any sport, you're going to get every team's best shot every game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. We'll see. I could be wrong. We'll see how Wyatt Langford does, but I think maybe the Rangers should have taken the Orioles approach there, but we'll see. I could be wrong. It happens occasionally. On to the mailbag. And don't forget, if you want to get if you want a chance to have your mailbag message read on the show, drop us a line at 8thinningpod.com/mailbag or 8thinningstretch@gmail.com. And we start this edition of the mailbag with Megan M., who wants to know, Carson, how worried should me and my fellow D-backs fans be worried about... Wait, you said worried twice. Sorry. Whoops. Typo. How worried should me and my fellow D-backs fans be about Erod's injury?
Definitely a little bit worried as far as the overall team. But I'd be a little bit more worried about just with the fact that you just signed him to this pretty nice deal, and hoping that this isn't something that's going to be a regular thing.
Yeah, I was actually just looking to see open season on IL. I was looking to see if there was anything about a lat strain, shut down from throwing. until he's asymptomatic. Well, the good news is it doesn't sound. It's a latch strain, and D-backs manager Torey Lovillo said, basically it's a day-to-day thing, which, I mean, at least it's not it's not anything that requires surgery, at least at this point. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, if I'm a D-backs fan, I'd be about a 4 or 5. 1, it doesn't sound like it's too severe. Hopefully, knock on wood. But 2, Carson, the D-backs are still, even with Erod on the IL, they're still pretty set in the starting pitching department with Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly.
Yeah, very, very true.
It's not like a situation with it's not like the Rangers where they're missing, Scherzer and DeGrom from the lineup, from the rotation, where you're already down 2 aces in your 5-card deck. The D-backs still have 2 aces at the top of their 5-card deck. I think the D-backs will be okay, and hopefully Erod, obviously, as a D-backs fan, you're hoping he's back and healthy as soon as possible, but I think they'll be okay in the meantime. All right, Cody H., how would you rate the Mets lineup with JD Martinez on board?
Well, I mean, once he goes up to the majors, because apparently they're putting him in the minors to start, but
yeah,
I mean, he definitely helped, but I don't know if I don't know how effective he's gonna be, because again, very similarly to the Astros core, how much does he really have left in the tank?
True. Yeah, I mean, yeah, JD Martinez, he's not a spring chicken anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, I mean, obviously once he's in the majors, once he's in the major league lineup, I don't know how much he could. Yeah, I don't know how much he's actually going to offer in as far as production wise. But I mean, I don't think he can hurt having JD Martinez in your lineup. But I don't know. I don't really see him making an impact one way or the other, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean, when I heard about the Mets signed JD Martinez, I kind of went, eh. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a big JD Martinez fan. He had all those good years in Arizona, and obviously he was a key piece to the Red Sox 2018 World Series run. So, I'm a big fan, but I think it's kind of I don't think it tips the scales one way or the other. Sorry, Cody. That's probably not what you're hoping. JD Martinez is going to help the Mets get to the playoff. No, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't see that happening. Adam W., what do you guys make of Jazz Chisholm Jr. calling out Miguel Rojas?
Yeah, that was certainly something, wasn't it? I mean, thank God they're not teammates anymore. Let's get that out of the way. But
yes,
yeah, crazy. Hopefully, I don't really know how to feel about that. I don't really know how. I'd be a little concerned if I was currently one of Jazz Chisholm's teammates. Like, oh my God, is he going to do this to me someday? But, hopefully that's just a sign that the Mariners, the Marlins culture is getting better and is better. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it.
You know what? I've never been shy about making a note that I'm a Jazz Chisholm Jr. season ticket holder, and this makes me even more of one. This is what I love about this kid. He's open, he's honest, he doesn't hold back, he doesn't sugarcoat. He told the Pivot podcast Tuesday the start of his tenure in Miami was the quote unquote the worst 3 years probably of my life. Calling out the then toxic clubhouse culture of the Marlins, which it doesn't seem like that's how things are anymore. And then, yeah, he took a pretty good swipe at Miguel Rojas. Chisholm said I was already a team leader without being called a team leader. You can't be a team leader when you've got guys that's been in the clubhouse, that's been in there 9 or 10 years, even though they suck. They've been there for 9 or 10 years, and the team calls them the team captain, but they're not a good captain. They're not a good person. You're not even a good athlete at this point. You're just here. You're bringing down the young guys that are supposed to be good. You know what? I think Jazz makes valid points.
Yeah, maybe he does. Yeah.
He's Jazz Chisholm Jr., ladies and gentlemen. He's not Willy Wonka. He doesn't sugarcoat stuff. I like it. And I like it, and I'd like to see more of it. Because, a lot of times we see these, like clubhouse drama or locker room drama where it's guys, or players sort of just stirring up drama. But I'd like to see more of this honest and kind of open dialogue about clubhouse and locker room culture in sports. I think that would be a good thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I like it. You go, Jazz Chisholm Jr. Ignore the haters. And also, how could you be? I mean, I obviously don't know Jazz Chisholm Jr. personally, but Miguel Rojas, how could you be mean to Jazz Chisholm Jr.? What's wrong with you? Dude just seems like just a likable dude. And last but not least, from our good friend Jackie M. You guys never shy away from hot takes. Yeah, ain't that the truth? So what's your hottest take / bold prediction for 2024? Oh boy. This is gonna be fun.
I mean, honestly, offhand, I can't really think of a super crazy one. So I am gonna go ahead and go out on a limb here. Well, I mean, maybe this is a hot take, but maybe it isn't. Who knows? I think that if because I kind of spoiled this a little bit earlier, if the Twins don't, I'm going to say if the Twins at the very least do not make it to the ALDS, it will be a cleaned house. Front office gone, Rocco Baldelli gone.
I think that's a yeah, no, I think that is a hot take. I think that is because I mean predicting a team cleaning house is a pretty bold prediction. Yeah. Oh man, like I think about these all the time, and then when somebody actually asks me, I'm like, I mean, I kind of threw one out earlier when I said the Yankees and neither the Yankees nor the Astros will make the playoffs this year. Oh man. I mean, they could say the Dodgers will lose in the first round of the playoffs again, but that's a freezing cold take at this point. Yeah, I'm just drawing a blank. I mean, I guess I'll just stick with my I don't think the Yankees or the Astros are going to make the playoffs this year. Oh, I do have one actually. Carson will appreciate this. If the Minnesota Twins stay healthy, and I'm talking about looking at you, Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa, and who's the third guy? We were just talking about them.
Royce Lewis.
Royce Lewis, yeah, him. If those three guys stay healthy and play a full season, and the rest of the Twins stay healthy, because I mean the Twins pitching staff is unbelievable. The Minnesota Twins, I could see the Minnesota Twins in the World Series this year.
I like it. I really like that. I want that to be a cold take someday.
Yeah, if they stay, I think if they stay healthy, sure, I could absolutely see it. So there you go, Twins fans. Yeah, man. Somebody puts you on the spot like that, you're just like, I think about hot takes all the time. I mean, anyone who's read Two Strike Count know that I don't shy away from that. I guess I did throw out another one earlier, talking about the Tigers and how I thought the Tigers were a playoff team. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I mean, sticking in the AL Central, another one that I just kind of. The Kansas City Royals could be this year's version of the D-backs.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
They could go. I could see the Royals going on a run like the D-backs went on last year. Because the D-backs aren't sneaking up on anybody this year. All right, that's the mailbag. Thanks everybody for your messages. As always, again, drop us a line at eighth-inningpod.com/mailbag or eighth-inningstretch@gmail.com, and we just might read your message on an upcoming episode. Most watch games, we're not doing that yet. We already talked about all the games for opening day Thursday. One last thing. You said you were going to talk about your fantasy baseball team, right?
Yeah, mostly.
So I think we should, because we've talked about a lot of kind of heavy stuff this episode, with the players union drama and the Ohtani stuff. So I think we should end on a light note. So I'll lead off the one last thing, because mine is, So some of you probably saw the story. For a little background, this year, 2024, is the 20th anniversary of the Red Sox 2004 World Series team. And, their run. And I mean, everybody knows the story, the coming back from down 0-3 against the Yankees and beating the Cardinals in the World Series. And, you all know that. You've all heard me talk about that ad nauseum. Yep, still holding that one over you, Yankees fans. We'll always have that one on you guys. But no, it's the 20th anniversary, and obviously the Red Sox are going to celebrate that team. So they invited they invited the entire team to come to Fenway on opening day for a celebration ceremony. And those invitees included Curt Schilling, who, again, all of you know, or anyone who's listened to the show with any regularity knows that I am not a fan of Curt Schilling for various reasons. But Curt Schilling reached a new low when he leaked, without the permission of the Wakefield family, when Tim Wakefield passed away. Schilling leaked, without permission from the family, that Tim's wife, Stacy, who we've also now lost to cancer, Schilling leaked that Stacy Wakefield was also battling cancer. Obviously, the reaction was very strong and very swift. People were extremely pissed at Curt Schilling, understandably, because he had no right whatsoever to divulge that very personal, very private information to anybody. And yet, in spite of that, and in spite of all the other boneheaded stuff he's done, and in spite of the fact that he's a complete asshole, sorry for the swear again, the Red Sox still invited him to be part of the celebration ceremony of the 2004 team, which tone deaf doesn't even begin to describe it. But luckily, and probably by accident, Schilling did the right thing and bowed out of the ceremony and said he wasn't going to attend, even though in the process he tried to act like he was doing something noble. One, I mean, I'm glad Schilling even accidentally did the right thing for once. But I'm sorry, Red Sox. What the hell were you thinking by inviting this guy? Okay, I get it. He was on the 2004 team, and I can't deny that he was a key piece of that team. Everybody knows the story. Game 6 of the ALCS, the bloody sock. Everybody knows about that. Yes, he was a big part of that team. Yes, they probably wouldn't have won the World Series that year without him. But really? You're going to invite a dude to a ceremony not only celebrating the 2004 World Series team, but also celebrating the life of Tim and Stacey Wakefield? I mean, for crying out loud, the Red Sox are going to be wearing patches on their uniform for Wake this year. And you invited a person who, without permission and for completely selfish reasons, divulged personal, private, family information to the entire world on Twitter. The Red Sox have done a lot of really stupid stuff over the years. A lot of really stupid stuff, mostly baseball related. They completely screwed up the memorial to Jerry Remy by not inviting Don Orsillo. I was really pissed about that, but Carson, I don't know what more than pissed off is. I'm furious that somebody in the Red Sox organization even thought, hey, maybe we should invite Kurt. I don't get it. I really don't get it, and it really pisses me off. And yes, I know he's not actually going to be there, and that's a good thing, but he shouldn't have been invited in the first place. And whoever is in charge of making those decisions for the Red Sox should be fired immediately for even entertaining the idea of inviting him to the ceremony in the first place.
Yeah, well said. It's
and also Kurt Schilling, fuck you. Whew. All right, I feel better now. That was cathartic.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Whew. Anyways, on to a much lighter topic, fantasy baseball.
Yes, so there were a couple of different ideas bouncing around in my head for my one last thing, but I figured, in the spirit of interactive, I figured I'd share my fantasy baseball team with you all and have you guys either sending questions to the mailbag, or maybe we'll put up a poll or something to determine if my team sucks or not. So,
ooh, I like it.
Without further ado, so to provide some context, as I kind of develop my team here, this is a 8-team league. We have 10 total bench spots for us to use as we please. You have 2 starting pitcher slots, designated starting pitcher slots, 2 designated relief pitcher slots, and then 4 just pitcher spots where you can put relief or starters. And then you have, your typical lineup: catcher, first base, second base, third base, shortstop, outfield, 3 outfielders, and then 2 utility guys as well. So starting with my catcher, representing.
Wait. What did you name your fantasy team? That's important.
So, well, I guess this spoils. So my first pick, I picked Kyle Tucker of the Houston Astros. So the team is named the Mother Tuckers.
I love it.
So
that's good.
At catcher for the Mother Tuckers, representing the Los Angeles Dodgers, Will Smith. At first base, representing the Los Angeles Dodgers, Freddie Freeman. At second base, representing the Texas Rangers, Marcus Semien. At third base, representing the San Diego Padres, Ha-Seong Kim.
Nice.
At shortstop, representing the New York Mets, Francisco Lindor. In the outfield, the team of his namesake from the Houston Astros, Kyle Tucker. From the Texas Rangers, Adolis Garcia, wrong Garcia. And from the Chicago Cubs, Cody Bellinger. In my utility spots currently, both from the Texas Rangers, Evan Carter and Josh Young. And on my bench, I have 5 batters on my bench. My backup catcher from the Atlanta Braves, Sean Murphy. From the Philadelphia Phillies, Alec Boehm. From the San Francisco Giants, Thairo Estrada. From the Minnesota Twins, Edward Julian. And from the Chicago White Sox, Eloy Jimenez. Now, going into my pitchers, how I'll do it is I'll just do all of the starting pitchers that I have and then all of the relief pitchers that I have. So, from the Toronto Blue Jays, Kevin Gausman. From the Detroit Tigers, Tariq Skubal. From the Cleveland Guardians, Shane Bieber. From the Arizona Diamondbacks, I hope I pronounce his name right, Brandon Pfaadt.
Nice.
From the Texas Rangers, Nathan Eovaldi.
Hell yeah.
From the Cincinnati Reds, Nick Lodolo. And from the Tampa Bay Rays, Ryan Pepio. Now for my relief pitchers, from the Cleveland Guardians, Emmanuel Clase. From the Atlanta Braves, Raisel Iglesias. From the Arizona Diamondbacks, Paul Sewald.
Nice.
From the Tampa Bay Rays, Pete Fairbanks. From the Chicago Cubs, Adbert Alzolay. And from the Detroit Tigers, Alex Lang. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the Mother Tuckers.
That is quite a team, my friend. Props for picking Uvalde. Props for picking Paul Sewald. And big props for picking Ha-Seong Kim. As crazy as it sounds, I feel like Ha-Seong Kim is a bit underrated.
I agree with that.
Yeah, which is nuts because he's a stud. So yeah, everybody feel free. Yeah, go ahead, send in your stuff to the mailbag. Weigh in on Carson's. Yeah, maybe we'll do a poll. That's a good idea. We'll get producer Tasha to throw up a poll for us. Maybe probably on the website, so more of you can access it. Should we do like a thumbs up, thumbs down kind of thing on your? How should we? What should we do for like poll options? I guess is what I'm wondering.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we could do like a thumbs up, thumbs down, or somewhere in the middle, or like I guess that would be the best way to.
Oh, we can do what grade? We can do grades A, B, C, D.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
I like grades. Yeah.
We'll do grades. Well, yeah, we'll throw a poll up. We'll get producer Tasha to throw a poll up on eighthinningpod.com for you guys, so you can grade Carson's fantasy team. All right, everybody. I feel like we've taken up enough of your time on a Sunday afternoon. But this has always has been a blast. Yeah. One last quick thing before we go. I know I've done this before, but I want to do it again because I feel like I can't possibly do it enough. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the co-host with the most, Carson, who I just recently told that without him, without you, this entire thing, the podcast, the website, the newsletter, everything would still just be an idea kicking around in my head. Yeah, so the highest of five to you, my friend.
Well, thank you. And again, you know, I'm not a part of this if you don't allow me to be a part of it. It was your it was your project at first. I'm just lucky that I was able to come in and pick up a couple of tools and help at this point.
Nice. I appreciate the building reference as a employee of Lowe's. I like it. Yeah, so that's a wrap for us, everybody. Don't forget, you can catch us live every Sunday except for next Sunday because it's Easter. So we hope you all enjoy Easter with your family and friends. If you don't celebrate Easter, enjoy a lazy Sunday. Yeah, so catch us live almost every Sunday on YouTube, Twitter, YouTube, X, Twitter, and Twitch. And then Mondays on demand wherever you get your podcasts, and on all your favorite platforms at Linktree/8inningstretch. Don't forget to give us a follow on X, Twitter at 8th Inning Pod. And for more, including our newsletter blog, 2 Strike Count, which is, as we mentioned, going to be more newsletter-y and a little less bloggy moving forward, and to subscribe. Yeah, I need to rewrite this now. The newsletter blog 2 Strike Count, and to sign up and to subscribe to 2 Strike Count, head to 8thinningpod.com, and if you are so inclined, you can support the show using the QR code on the screen if you're watching, or if you're listening at 8thinningpod.com/donate. Yeah, that's all we got for you guys. Everybody enjoy opening day. It's going to be a blast. It's only 4 days away. We're almost there, everybody. We can make it. Stay tuned on X, Twitter, and on 8thinningpod.com for more info about the Book of Baseball, our upcoming baseball history documentary series, and our home run derby game that you all can play this year. Yeah, that's a wrap for us. Everybody have an awesome week. Have a great Easter if you celebrate. If not, have a great lazy Sunday next Sunday. And we'll be back with you guys 2 weeks from today.